See, right here, Jesus is teaching in one of the synagogues on the Sabbath, and there's a woman who had a spirit of infirmity for 18 years, and bent over and couldn't even straighten up and all that, and Jesus saw her and called her up to her and said, "Hey, woman, you're freed from your infirmity." Laid his hands on her, and immediately she stood up straight and glorified God. But notice what the ruler of the synagogue did. He became indignant because Jesus had healed on the Sabbath. And he said out to the multitude, "Hey, there's 6 days in which men ought to work. Therefore, come on those days and be healed, and not on the Sabbath." But look what Jesus' response was, "Therefore, the Lord answered him, you hypocrites, doesn't each one of you free his ox or his donkey from the stall on the Sabbath and lead him away to water? Ought not this woman, being a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan had bound 18 long years, be freed from this bondage on the Sabbath day?" And, you know, they didn't like it. You know, see, the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath, and Jesus was Lord of the Sabbath, as Scripture says elsewhere. But how often do Christians nowadays, pastors and all that, people come into church, they're hurting, they need help, they need somebody to talk to, whatever, pastor to talk to, whatever, who knows what it is. But yet, nobody, well, most people, most churches, most pastors, they couldn't be bothered to help people on the Sabbath, on Sunday. That's what they, Sunday is not the Sabbath, but that's another story. But that's the day that they designate as their rest day. And, you go try to get some help on a Sunday from a church, and more than likely they're just going to be like, come on Monday, come on another day, come on, whatever. But they won't help you. They couldn't be bothered to help you on a Sunday, on their, which, people try to claim it's the equivalent of the Sabbath or whatever, And so spiritually, this passage is showing the same thing. It's like, what in the world, if your donkey or whatever, your kid's hurt, whatever, you go help them. But, oh, no, can't help somebody else, I mean, it's crazy.